What's the story, folks? We're back with you again.
Welcome to episode 13, isn't it? Lucky 13.
Yeah. On the harvest moon, no less. As we do. We were just discussing off air some ridiculously filthy tunes that we have recorded that haven't been released yet.
Misogyny 101. Oh yeah. They make her scumbags, to be honest with you.
The Me Too movement to be all over these tunes if they ever come out.
Yeah, all these feminists be all going crazy. Oh my god, I'm not a piece of meat, and I'm like, shut up and show me your tits, bitch. But
right, so
this episode, feminists tend to not have tits, don't they? They all seem to be kind of just bowl cuts and flat chest.
Well, they're not what
because the one with the big boobs and hair can get fellas. They don't need to be feminist.
True. Do you see that with Adesanya? He's fucking right tit.
No.
You didn't see that? He did droopy tit going on. Everyone was saying, steroids, coming off steroids, this, that, the other. Like, he has a bit of a floppy tit going on.
Meat, really? Too big. Chicken kebabs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've probably a lot to talk about. Poor Trump. That's the COVID.
Poor old Trump.
Yeah. And again, it's a blessing in disguise because as I kind of put a status up earlier, and it was like the morality argument is gone from all you. It was like, oh, wear a mask, it's all people. And it's like, well, Trump is no person, you want him to die. The morality argument is gone. It's not. It doesn't work that like just because you don't like someone, then you can be happy to have COVID. And just because he's saying that it's not a big deal, and you're going, well, now I hope he gets it, and I hope. Okay, fair enough. You conspiracy theorist, yeah, you know what I mean? Because we weren't even saying that, and we were animals. We hate old people. You've literally saying this about an old person, and you still want to claim that you have some sort of moral high ground against us. It's gone. Sorry, it's gone.
It's a weird one because I've heard people saying, "Oh, well, that's what you get for not wearing your mask." And it's like, well, hold on a minute. Your argument is you wear a mask to protect others. So if he wasn't wearing a mask and he got it, that's not really the way your argument's supposed to go. That's not backing up or verifying your claim. Your claim is that you wear a mask to protect others. So
but in fairness though, nobody was wearing a mask in the Trump campaign.
Not wearing a mask, it's not like, oh well, it's because you're wearing a mask that you got. Yeah, well, we know masks don't stop you from getting it. No one ever said they did. It was to stop you giving it to other people. So that moral argument as well, I'm hearing thrown on it. It's like, first and foremost, right? The guy is 75, he's overweight, and is anyone genuinely concerned for his health? And I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't mean like I hope he dies. Like, are you genuinely sitting there going, Jesus, right? Trump's after getting COVID. He's on his fucking last legs here, like. You know what I mean? It's not looking good. He's after getting COVID. He's gonna die, man. Because we're in a pandemic for a killer virus, like. Would you ever once sit back and go, he might not make it? Has he even got any symptoms?
Well, no, and that's the thing, because everyone else is they're all hoping he doesn't make it.
No,
and that's what I'm saying. But that's where the morality thing comes in.
Well, no, I'm saying on the flip side of it, have you any genuine concern? Like, do you think he's gonna die? Like,
no, I reckon he'll rock through.
Like,
he'll be the best at he's the best at beating Corona.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that have beaten Corona, but I have beaten it the best. That's what he'd come out with, and they'll go fucking.
He'd probably swing the hydroxychloroquine or something. I took hydroxychloroquine, and I had no symptoms whatsoever, and yeah.
But again, it's they kind of have to need him to die for their argument, because if he comes out and he does start saying, "Well, look, I'm 75 years old and I got it, wasn't that bad," they'd be like, "Oh my God, he's saying this," and it's like, "Well, hold on a second, you hope you died again. You can't." All he's saying is he got it and it wasn't too bad. It probably wasn't. He's probably telling the truth. And you're trying to say, oh my God, what he's saying is going to risk lives. It's like, but you wanted him to die. You wanted a life to be risked. It doesn't. Your argument is gone. I'm sorry, it just is. Like, now there has been a few people I've seen put up, look, I wouldn't wish death on them sort of thing. Like, but I think they're only doing it because they know that this can all come back and fucking haunt them. Because I'm seeing a load of them, and. Like the anti-Trumpers, I swear to God, anti-Trumpers are the dumbest cunts. They're the most unintelligent people on the planet. I actually seen one as well. Right, here's another good one. Because I'm noticing this a lot with them. Somebody put a post up the other day. I'm not even going to name the little prick. He stuck a post up and he was like, here, Trumpers, answer this, right? And he put up a question about the Proud Boys or whatever that like, and I went in and said, well, they're not actually a white supremacist group. But whatever, they're a Western chauvinist group. Their leader is like Mexican or Puerto, you know, he's brown. That's what they call them over America. So the leader is brown, and there's black members. There's a couple of Asian members in there. So they are the worst white supremacist group on the planet because they actually have people. Basically, if you believe in the Western chauvinist ethos, you can join the group regardless of your race. So they're not a white supremacist group. But anyway, about that. But your mom was saying, he goes, oh, why did he refused it? And it was like, he refused to condemn white supremacy. And I was like, well, he didn't. He said, sure, name a group. And then they named a group that weren't white supremacists. And he blocked me. So because he couldn't argue back. So what he did was he blocked me, and then I'm sure continued on with his little fucking echo chamber, anti-Trumper clique of little bitches.
Yeah,
oh my God, this guy, you're so deluded. Oh my God, this guy. Where I can't. It
suits his narrative. He's a pre-existing narrative. Now, don't get me wrong. I personally, at the moment, I don't give a fuck about Trump or Biden. It's all a sideshow anyway. We know that. It's the same as like elections over here. It's like, do you pick this fucking guy who's going to screw you over, or this guy that's going to screw you over? It's all a sideshow. But at least, if you have an argument like that, or an opinion, or a narrative, at least make it factual.
No, but you don't, and that's what I'm saying. So when you put it up, because they want all their friends to come in and agree with them, and when someone comes in and catches them out, and basically just don't tell us the truth. Like, I mean, like this dude blocked me simply for answering this question. So they're putting out there, they're being so disingenuous that they don't want to engage, and because they're so ill-informed, that when you hit them with a bit of a truth bomb, their only reaction is to remove you and then act like they've owned you and they can still continue, and then you can't go in and eat them again because they've removed you. And it's happened to me a lot. No, I don't care about being blocked. I kind of expect it. I like funning with them, to be honest with you. Like I do get me jollies out of fucking winding anti-Trumpers up, to be honest with you, because they are the most unintelligent people on the planet. Like, they just are. Like, and again, I made the point on. I had a status up today about them losing their morality, and some fella came in and saying like, I wonder, and I said, what it is that they've made their mind up during the election campaign, and they refuse to admit that they may have been wrong, and that sums them all up absolutely perfect. I mean, I seen somebody call him a warmonger the other day, and I'm like, he's literally not had any wars, and he's caused a peace deal in the fucking Middle East. The war with Russia never happened. The nuclear war that he was going to have with Korea never happened.
So he broke the peace deal with North Korea and South Korea.
That's what I mean. Like, this is what I'm saying. So all the shit that they claimed that was going to happen, the opposite happened.
And he's removed troops from Afghanistan. He's winded them down. Something that fucking Obama said he was going to do for 8 years, and he wrapped it up instead of fucking, you know what I mean?
He designated the KKK as a hate
group. Come here, like, my argument with it has always been, there's so much ammo there for you to pick on Trump. Why make up stuff? Why lie about it?
Most of Trump's downfall is his character.
Yeah, his attitude is demeanor.
Yeah, but in saying that, like, it might come across shit in press conferences, and like, I mean, even me, like, I mean, I like the guy. I wouldn't call myself a supporter because I don't have a dog in that race. He's definitely better than Biden, and so far, presidential wise, he's one of the best presidents America ever has. People are going mad at Trump because he's actually doing what he promised. They just didn't like what he was promising. You can't kind of wrap their heads around that. It's like, oh my God, he wants to do this. Like, well, yeah, he said he would. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that's but like, policy-wise and all, I think he's done okay. Not perfect. Nobody's perfect. No politician's ever going to deliver everything that they do on. But as far as take away the press conferences and the tweets, because that's really all they have going for him. And then they have like, oh, he refused to condemn the white supremacists. Like, he's literally he done a segment where he was doing an interview, and 5 minutes of the whole, like an entire 5 minutes of, condemning white supremacy. And then there's another section where they asked him to do, I think it was the Charlottesville thing, and he was like, racism is evil. And these people are, all these people are criminals, and yada, yada, yada. And that includes neo-Nazis, it includes the KKK, white supremacists. You know what I mean? These people need to be, you know, he basically condemned them. And then they're saying, oh, yeah, but he wouldn't do it last night. I said, well, he didn't give him a white supremacist group to condemn. He asked. He said, sure, give me one. And they gave him the Proud Boys. Now, the Proud Boys are not white supremacists. They're factually not. You may disagree with their ethos, as in Western chauvinism, and you might say, well, that's a racist thing because they believe the West is best. But they believe it for a reason. It's not based on race because there's other races in the group. You can't be white supremacist and have black and brown people in there as equals and or leaders, because that's the opposite of what white supremacy is. White supremacists believe that white people are the best and the only people, and blah 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 blah. So
it's weird. Like I seen one Kayleigh McEnany or whatever her name is.
She's a Dawn.
And like Trump had said something like they found empty ballot boxes in a river or something like that. And they asked Kayleigh, well, what river? What are you talking about? And she goes, well, I think the president, he kind of got it a bit mixed up. They weren't found in the river. They were found in like a fucking field or something like that. And they were like, but what river? What river was he saying they were found in? She's like, no, you got it wrong. Like, he said it wrong. The ballot box wasn't found in a river. It was found in a ditch or something. And they were like, but what river? What river? So it's not about the ballots. You're not talking about the problem, the issue. You're talking about that he misquoted something and it's irrelevant to the story. A river, a house, a car boot, a dumpster. Who cares?
Have you seen the Project Veritas stuff?
Which one?
The latest one about the ballot harvesting.
No, I didn't see it. No,
some guy that was kind of linked to Ilhan Omar. I think he was going around buying fucking ballots.
Popped up a whole, yeah. She's in trouble, isn't she?
That's what it was. So your man, this guy was driving around and he was like, "Look at my car, it's full of ballots." So he basically was going around. I think he was buying fucking Trump vote or bleeding things or something like that and fucking them away or something. I didn't see the foot again. I've been walking like a cunt like lately, so I've only kind of seen bits of. But Project Veritas that's dropped the ballot. They're basically harvesting ballots.
Yeah,
that's the kind of thing. I haven't looked at.
I don't know, man. Like,
if you're watching this and you want to check it out, Project Veritas ballot harvesting, Google it.
But she's knee deep in all the stuff in Minneapolis and all the fucking George Floyd stuff and all the fucking riots and all. She's
corrupted as.
She's up to the fucking hilt, like.
She see that she went off. Oh, Aberdeen scored. Lovely, only 2 left.
For anyone at home wondering if you checked out our fucking Super 6, probably previous to this coming out, Red has a few bets that are fucking about to drop for him, so hence the distraction.
Yeah, so I keep looking at the algo. Sorry, yeah.
Come in, he'll still be here next week. He won't have enough to retire on, but
no, but I get a nice bit of weed out of it.
He'll be next week.
Yeah, but no, Ilhan Omar, like, she's corrupt and she fucking she's a home wrecker. So the fella that she's with now, first of all, she said she wasn't with him, then she moved in with him, and he was married. And now, apparently as well, like, she's given his company fucking millions of taxpayers' money and all that. Like, she's an absolute.
We had a tune called Home Wrecker, didn't we?
Yeah, actually, we did. Yeah.
The Home Wrecker.
Oh, I've only one left. I've only one left.
Bank.
Shamrock Rovers. Come on, Shamrock Rovers.
They should donate some of that. Some of the winnings. Bag away to someone out there.
Literally, you get the last one there. I don't know if you can see that. So, one left there. Shamrock Rovers over 2.5.
Well, is it Waterford they're playing?
Wexford.
Wexford.
There was an injury break, so I think there's an extra few minutes to be played as well. But if they just unsuspend it so they can give me a nice little cash out, that would be fantastic. Because it's what, 210 quid. I'm waiting on one goal. So
what are you offering?
Nothing, because it's suspended because the other two matches literally only scored. It takes a few minutes for them to.
Right. Right, well, for those couple of minutes, Ilhan Omar, yeah. Yeah, no, she's as fucking filthy. And I don't mean that sexual.
And again, but because she's on that side, nobody will call her out. Same with the Joe Biden thing. I mean, that dickhead who came onto my status talking about all this, to go Trump, well, if you like Trump, that means you're a proud pedo too, or whatever that. And I was like, all right, went onto his page, not one fucking mention of Joe Biden. So this selective outrage, where like Joe Biden.
People are literally going to vote. They're going to vote for Biden, not because they like Joe Biden or what he stands for or his policies or anything like that. They're going to vote Joe Biden because they dislike Trump.
That's over. Well, it's game over.
You gone?
Once, yeah.
R.I.P.
One goal. Let me know. Story like.
Yeah. So yeah, they're literally only voting for Biden because they hate Trump.
Yeah.
Like
And again, you know, if you say to people, like, oh, even in Ireland, people say, "Oh, you're fucking Trump, you should vote Biden," and I'll say, "Why? Why?" Because the Trump, you can kind of say, well, you know, he's lowering taxes, and you know, unemployment before COVID, unemployment was at an all-time low for black people, for brown people, for fucking women, for teenagers, and the unemployment, you know, had dropped a lot. And I know there's a lot of people saying, well, that's because of Obama. It's what he finished what Obama started. It's like, okay, but did it go the other way after he took over? No. So we continued on. So it's still a hat tip to him. No, he doesn't get the credit. So I'm basically saying all the anti-Trumpers, this is the logic, and it's so.
So basically, that's gone wrong. That goes wrong is his fault, and that goes right was Obama.
Exactly. If the good stuff isn't him, but the bad stuff is. That's what I'm saying. This way, they're the most unintelligent cunts on the planet. Like, I'm sorry, you just are. You're so.
Yeah, I have to give an honorary fucking shout out. I was reading now. I haven't been on the line so much over the last few days, but an honorary shout out to whoever put up that fucking message saying, by fucking proxy, a fork is fucking racist if it's used in a racial attack or something like that. It was.
Yeah, that's Sean. And again, I'll give a disclaimer for him. Sean is an intelligent fella.
That is the dumbest fucking reasoning.
No, yeah, it is. Don't get me wrong. It was so fucking stupid. But again, it was because he made a point, and rather than admit he was wrong, he tried to double down, and he ended up looking extremely stupid.
I hope you screenshot it. Can you send it to me? Because that's going to be material. Like.
But in fairness, he is a really intelligent guy. I like him, and I actually like. He's one of the few lefties that will actually give me a run for my money when I have him. But let's be honest, that was an absolute brain fart that
what was the exact quote?
He was basically saying that, like, he was saying that, like, the reason it was brought up. I'll give you the little backstory. So the backstory of it was that he basically said that because being anti-mask is a far right trope. Or maybe not even right wing. He said a far right trope, okay. And then when I put the thing about Sweden and all, and he was calling it, he made a sarcastic comment about Trump not liking inheriting their leftist, and I was like, well, hold on a second, they're not wearing masks over there. Surely they're far right. And he's like, you know, that's not. I said, you're switching your narrative. So when it suits your narrative, it's far right, and when it doesn't, then all of a sudden that's not what you said. But then he went in and to justify saying that, because I was saying that's like it's not, it just isn't, it's not. You know, it's not a far right trope whatsoever. Like, people don't wear masks for all sorts of reasons. And he basically doubled down and says that if you go out with a fork to stab somebody, if you're a racist that wants to stab a black man with a fork, the act of carrying a fork is racist.
So by the transit of property, the fork therefore becomes racist.
So that's so if you're a racist, drinking water is racist by proxy.
That is the dumbest thing. Like, I literally read it and I felt brain cells frying inside my head. Like,
yeah,
and people out there. But there's people out there that actually believe it. Like, I was reading a thread on fucking Twitter there a while ago, and they were trying to talk about how 2 + 2 sometimes doesn't always equal 4. Sometimes it can, and they were. If you break it down to fractions and decimals and this, and it's like, what are you talking about? You can't. It's a misnomer. You're taking something that doesn't exist and trying to make it exist and sound fancy. And there's people that believe that nonsense.
Yeah, because basically what it is what's deemed as normal
is racist because you might stab someone with a fork.
No, it's not your money. It's like if you're racist and you're going to stab someone with a fork and you intend on stabbing them with the fork, the act of carrying the fork is then racist.
So every time you carry a fork, you carry a fork from your dinner plate to the sink, and you're a racist.
No. What he's saying is the intent to. So the intent to stab the guy with the fork would make the fork racist, or carrying the act of carrying the fork racist. It's bullshit. Like, it's not. It's again. It was an absolute brain fart from him. But again, I don't want to act like we're kind of kicking him when he's not here to defend himself.
To be honest, I have read the thread. I read that, and I just.
He's he has a great command of English, and I actually like the guy. You know what I mean? And
but I bowed out after I read that. And
that was an absolute slip up. But again, but it shows you what the ideology, the kind of the far left ideology does to people. It will make an intelligent guy come out with some of the dumbest shit ever just to justify the narrative or justify the point. Rather than, and it goes back to the Trump thing, rather than admit you may have been wrong.
That for very long. That must have been just out the top of his head, and then reading it back, he was probably like, yeah.
Well, no, he tried to double down on it again, and I just laughed at him. I was like, man, I'm gone. He even said, I'm glad you're getting a bit of a kick out of this. And I was like, oh, man. Like,
the kick shall continue. Why get that made up on a t-shirt, or we're going to start selling it?
I'm anti-mask and I'm kicking you. There's me getting the kick, make that kick far right.
Where does it end?
It is. But again, that's the thing about the far left ideology. It turns intelligent people momentarily into absolute fucking idiots. Like it was one of the dumbest things I've ever read, and from one of the most intelligent people I've ever argued against.
Yeah,
it's strange, but that's what the far left ideology will do to you. Like,
right.
You know, and it's a bit weird because I keep telling, and like actually I was talking to another. He's actually a communist. And he was basically saying that centrists are right wing. Now I'm saying to him, well, I'm a centrist, so basically, for me, it's like my idea on being left or right is neither is right all the time. But if you're going to be left wing and just go against everything right wing, saying you're going to be wrong, maybe 50% of the time. Whereas if you're a centrist, like you can pick. You know, you can jump from side to side, and it's not hypocritical to say, well, they have a good point on this. I believe them about this. But on this, they have a better point, and I believe them on this. And then you have a good point on this, and I believe that. And, you know, like for instance, like because when I get called right-wing or far-right by a lot of people, I'm like, well, I'm not, because I'm pro-gay marriage, pro-gay adoption. I'm an atheist. So there's three things just off the top of my head that don't sit in with the right-wing conservative moment. However, I'm capitalist, pretty much anti-abortion. You know, and there's a couple of other kind of things that I don't agree with, like especially all the trans fucking men or women or women are men, all that bollocks. That's more of a far left ideology, I think, as opposed to a left wing ideology. But I'm against all that sort of shit, so I couldn't be on that side either. You know, that sort of way. It's quite simple. You're a man who believes he's a woman. You're not a woman. You can't be a woman. You just can't. I don't like. You may, you know, it's just scientifically impossible. It's biologically impossible. And use it the whole climate change. Oh, you're all science deniers, and I go transgenderism, and you know. So that's why I kind of say I'm not on either side. The problem is that, again, like saying I'm not pro-Trump. I'm anti-Trumpers because I think these are all fucking retards. Like, these are the most disingenuous cunts on the planet. Period. Fucking period. Like, he's a major stance at the very start and refused to admit. And they keep saying, oh, well, he's racist. And then when you ask him for, you know, how, he can't give you a correct answer. He said Mexicans are rapists. No, he didn't. He said they're sending the rapists. THEIR. It's basic grammar. And if you can't grasp that, well then, you know, you're the idiot. You're calling him an idiot, but you're the idiot because they're sending their, you know, THEY''RE are sending THEIR.
Yeah, I've seen the fucking Japan have the new, the internal bleach IV fucking thing that will kill COVID now, basically out on the market. So basically what Trump said about the whole bleach internally, that he's telling people to take bleach or whatever it was, you know what I mean?
But even that, he was asking, is that what you're saying?
Don't
get me wrong, it was stupid what he was saying. He shouldn't have done it there and then. Like, his way of doing it, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, so I can criticize Trump as well. When he was saying it, he looked fucking stupid. But he didn't say what you're saying he said. He didn't tell people to go out and use Clorox or Dettol themselves, drink Dettol. He didn't say that at all. He was asking the question, is that what you said? Are you saying this? He was asking questions. You know what I mean? We are looking into this.
Yeah, he sounded like someone who sat in on a discussion where two fucking experts were talking about, oh yeah, that, you know, they're talking about IV treatments that can be used internally and they can flush the system, and he picked up a half a fucking headline.
Picked up some buzzwords
and some topic starter, and he spat it out, and then was kind of like, well, actually, I don't really. You know what I'm talking about, kind of. You know what I mean?
He clearly didn't know what he was talking about. He tried to act like he did, and he didn't.
But then people.
He didn't say what you were saying that he said.
Yeah, but they're saying no. He told people to go and take, like, the amount of statuses from people I see being put up going, please, whatever you do, don't listen to that madman telling you to take bleach. Do not take bleach. It's like, come on.
It's like, and it's like Trump's telling everyone to
dumb enough to go and do it.
But it's like, what they're saying is like Trump told everyone to drink bleach, and then they're saying like, oh, when you come in and say, what are you talking about? Oh, I'm just worried about people going to actually, because his followers really listen to him. I was like, well, let's be honest, he didn't say that. You're saying he said that. So if they drink bleach,
it's on you.
You're the one. So like, if you really
and
do
also remember, these are the same people who are concerned for everybody, but hope that Trump dies of coronavirus.
Yeah, that's the intolerant left. It's like, agree with me or else, like, you know, why, like, everyone, oh my God, why can't we all just get along? Okay, but this Trump's part is not to get shot. Fuck him, this Trump's part. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like I tell you, even with the corona stuff now, like I heard fucking Thiago, Liverpool's new signing, tested positive for coronavirus, and it's got to the stage now where never once.
No, he could be a hypocrite there. I'm glad he has it because he can't play against Villa.
Never once did I consider the poor guy's health, that he may not make it, because like there's this killer virus going around, killing everybody, millions of people all over the world dying from it, dropping bodies everywhere in the street. Never once did I consider the poor guy's health. I was so selfish. All I thought was the poor guy, he's after doing a test, nothing wrong with him, not even probably the sniffles or anything like that. He's after and now for 2 weeks he can't fucking play football. Poor guy. You know, like, it's the narrative over here is dying a death as well. I'm starting to see it torn a little bit. And do you know what fucking kind of rubber stamped it for me? The little leech, the little snake, fucking Leo Varadkar yesterday coming out and going, oh, well, maybe we need to change. Instead of focusing on the tests, we need to focus on, like, hospitalizations and deaths for lockdown measures and stuff like that. He can see people are starting to say, hold on a minute, this test is nonsense. And he's trying to fucking play devil's advocate. You know, well, I was over here telling people we shouldn't be focusing on them tests. But
as soon as you stop being Taoiseach, he came out with that tweet saying, oh, yeah, we've kind of conflated deaths from COVID to deaths with COVID.
Why do you think fucking Houlihan, now there's talk of him coming back, fucking cunt, but why do you think he jumped ship? Him and fucking Leo jumped ship after all that lockdown because they thought, our heads are on the fucking news here. Yeah. And then nothing happened. So they're weaving their way back in. And now, you know, as soon as I seen him distancing, I'm like, all right, there you go. There's the little PR, the heads up. I'm trying to get out in front of this. You can see the tides turning. There's too many experts, too many people on the other side that supposedly should know what they're talking about, that haven't fucking spoken out, that are starting to speak out and say this is nonsense. Like that doctor, was it Keelan or whatever, that was on your one show with that.
Was forced to resign.
The guy that was forced to resign, yeah, and with your man McConnell, he's just kind of like, he's looking at your man. Your man's talking about like there's going to be thousands and thousands of deaths, and he's looking at him like, you're mental. Like, what are you? You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. But even you look at the test, they say, oh, you know, Dublin, we're looking to extending it because, you know, the cases just aren't dropping. And I was like, you're literally, like, there's probably 10, for every one person that's getting tested in Louth, there's 10 people getting tested in Dublin. Yeah. 90% of them are asymptomatic. And then did you see the video of your man saying, like, he asked a question to the head fucking health guy, and he was like, yeah. So if I go in with a broken leg, and you test me, and I test positive for COVID, even though I'm asymptomatic, does that go down as a hospital COVID? Yeah. Yeah. So you're like, oh, there's like 48 people now in the hospital with COVID, and it's like, oh yeah, but probably 3 of them are in from COVID, and the rest are in
heart attacks, strokes. They're in for cancer treatments. They broke their leg. They knocked down by a fucking car. They fucking pulled a groin or fucking tore their ACL playing football or something like that. And they're COVID hospitalizations.
Yeah. But no, they tested positive but asymptomatic. So they're not there. What I'm saying is they're not in hospital because of COVID.
Yeah, no, they're hospitalized for whatever they did to themselves. Fell off a roof, fucking fell out of a plane, fell off the back of a fucking bus. Whatever happened to them, they were hospitalized for whatever happened to them. They go in, get tested, and now they're a COVID hospitalization. So now there's a rise in hospitalizations. They start opening the hospital back up again to people people are going in for treatments, they're going in for whatever they're going in for, you know, could be going in for dialysis, cancer, whatever it is, and they're being tested when they go in, and now they're COVID hospitalisation. It's an absolute cooking of the books, like. And the other question your man asked him, I think it was McNamara, wasn't it? He asked him about the PCR test. He was like, well, how many cycles are on the PCR test? Because as you know, with the PCR testing, for every cycle that it does around the RNA and the DNA, it's like 10 times the previous one. So if it's taken, they reckon around 20 cycles should be enough for it to show up COVID or whatever, you know what I mean? But some of them are doing 45 cycles. So like from 20 to 21 is 10 times more, 10 times more, 10 times. So like they're getting so microscopic on what they're looking for. They're finding like, it's like fucking John Jones's picograms they're finding, you know what I mean? But he asked the guy, the chief medical officer, like, well, how many cycles are your PCR tests doing? Oh, I don't know. It's like, you don't know. Like, you're basing the lockdown of fucking counties, you're destroying people's livelihoods and lives based on these tests, and you don't know how many cycles that are in it. Like, you know what I mean?
No, but what you have to do is get Jedward on, and they'll explain it.
Fucking Jedward.
You know what I mean? Like, it's so fucking bizarre, because literally all they have is if you don't comply, you hate old people. That's what you've got reduced it. That's their argument now. If you don't comply, you hate old people. It's that fucking simple. Like, I hear some fella back. Like, I was having an argument about this the other day, right? And I was saying, why would it not be just simpler to quarantine elderly people and vulnerable people? And his response was, well, they have livelihoods to maintain as well. They need to work. And I'm like going, so pub owners, pub workers, restaurant owners, restaurant workers, retail fucking, every bleeding, like, rest of the industry. We like, don't forget, we don't worry about everyone else's livelihoods, but this kind of small group of people, it's just like, it's so fucking bizarre.
Yeah, because it's like, you protect the elderly, fucking cocoon them or whatever, which I don't think they should be doing it. Well, all right, cocoon the elderly. Oh no, they have lives too. Well, as it stands, none of us have fucking lives.
Yeah. We're cocooning everybody. That's the thing, we're all being locked down, we're all being restricted.
But they're like, we're all cocooning, basically, you know what I mean?
It's it's like everyone else has to, like, and then a point I made to him was, and then he didn't even respond to it, because I think I was using his logic. Now, I was being disingenuous because I don't believe this. I was just saying it to him so he could kind of see how it is in reverse. So, because he was basically saying, look, it's just a big fuck you to old people, and you don't like old people. It was essentially what his argument was. And I was like, okay, fine. Well, if you're pro-lockdown and all, you're pro-homelessness, you're pro-mental health issues, you're pro-suicide, you're pro all the bad things that come with lockdown, you're pro. And I think I made him realise, well, no, I'm not. And I'm going, exactly. Just because I'm against all the lockdowns and all the mask wearing, doesn't mean I hate old people.
But we're in a pandemic, so you know what I mean.
No, but what I'm saying is the logic of, if you don't comply, it means you hate old people. It's like, okay, fair enough. If you do comply with lockdowns and you're pro-lockdown, then all the adverse effects that has, you're pro. So you're pro more homelessness, you're pro more mental health issues, you're pro more suicide, you're pro more bankruptcy, you're pro, job loss, you're pro fucking, you know what I mean? Well, no, I'm not. I said, exactly. That's me applying your logic. If you are pro lockdown, then you're pro all this. The adverse.
Here's my argument at the moment, right? So you're out and about, right? What would you say compliance is in terms of mask wearing? If you were to give it a percentage out of 100, what would you say?
It's still about 65, I'd say, 70%.
Really?
Yeah, no, because I went to Northside Shopping Centre the other day, and there was still, like, every time I went into a shop, it would probably be me and maybe 2 or 3 others with no mask on, and the rest of people had masks on.
Gee, man, everywhere I go, everyone's wearing masks. Like, maybe one, like, you float into Tesco, maybe one person out of like 100 odd people, maybe one other person not wearing a mask. Like, I'd argue we're probably between 90 and 95% compliance of masks. I'd argue that. Genuinely would.
Everywhere, but I don't think.
Like, you go down the country, like, you go down the country, everywhere, everyone's wearing them. The local shop, you can't get in without a fucking mask on, right? But anyway, say for the purpose of my argument here, 90% of people are compliant with masks, right? So literally, the fucking more than enough people are wearing masks that it should stop, according to them, the spread of COVID-19. So how are the cases still going up? It's not because the people who aren't wearing masks. You can't argue that. The compliance is fucking 90-odd%. There's no way it's being spread. How is the cases still going up? You told us the mask would stop the spread. There was 1,000 cases in fucking Northern Ireland today. What's that from? It's not from people not wearing masks. So what's your argument now? Who's causing it? Is it the kids out in fucking Galway? The TDs want to bring fucking the army in for? Is it them spreading it? Because there's not fucking 1,000 cases. You know what I mean? What is it? It's because your tests are faulty. Don't
They're doing more of it.
They're doing, and I think it was in Middlesbrough or something like that. You were saying it was good. It was a good breakdown of the numbers. It was like they're testing 10 times more, and they're getting 3%. You know what I mean? Like, say, for argument's sake, say they done 1,000 tests, and they had one fucking positive case, and then they done 10,000 tests, and they've only got 3 positive cases. But it's like it's 3 times the jump in numbers, but you're doing 10 times the amount of testing. Yeah. Now, like, it doesn't, you know, if you test more people, you're going to get more cases, but the percentage of people testing positive is getting lower if you break it down mathematically. But they're just, when it suits them, they're only counting the numbers on this side instead of the percentage. You know what I mean? It's being disingenuous to what the number is. But
didn't Harris come out and say that like 98% of tests are negative?
Yeah, there you go. But we're testing more people.
Yeah.
So the percentage of people testing positive is getting lower and lower. But it's 100 cases today, 200. Yeah, but you're testing 20,000 people today instead of 2,000.
But someone did make it. I can't remember who it was. But someone did make the point of, or what was it, like, why don't you give out the numbers of negatives as well? And they won't, because, you know, it goes against the narrative.
Or
they're trying to make it as scary as possible. They won't.
Every time they throw out the number of positive cases, they throw out the number of positive cases since March. 30,000 cases now. None of them are active. They're all fucking 6 months fucking recovered. Like, throw out the recovery number then.
And so they removed 6 deaths today as well.
What?
They removed the 4 or 6 deaths from the count as well.
Because they'll just throw it out. They'll throw out fucking like, for me, I think they're even saving cases from other months, and they'll do big dumps. 40, 50 cases, 60 cases. Oh, but 20 of them were from last month, and 10 of them were from 3 weeks ago. And you know what I mean? Like,
because they're not providing that information. They're not telling you when the cases are from and all. And they're trying to argue that it's like, oh, it's too much, you know, to have that data. And it's like, well, it's not the data, it's there.
Well, you're giving the data out. They don't give the data out. And they do a headline. This the other shit that's annoying me. They'll do 3 deaths today from COVID and 50 new cases, and you go into the article. No mention of the deaths. No mention whatsoever. Just in the headline.
Yeah.
You won't even talk about them. But I think I mentioned Middlesbrough or something there. The reason it was in my head, I think the mayor of Middlesbrough said that they're removing restrictions, they're opening back up. Said, no, this is all nonsense, we're opening back up. There's a few places like Florida, a couple of other places open back up. Belgium opened back up as well, I think. Yeah, Belgium said, we're not going by cases. Switzerland, we're not going by cases, we go by hospitalizations and all. But obviously NPHET, who don't have an epidemiologist between them, like fucking know everything. We know everything.
Like, won't actually show up to any of the fucking COVID meetings.
No, won't give any information. Unelected, not unanswerable and unelected to anybody, but these are know-it-all experts. What are the fucking credentials like? Your man fucking, what's his name, Ryan or something? Is he the new fucking head guy instead of Houlihan? Not like he's a doctor that never worked as a doctor. He literally got out of fucking college and went straight into administration in the HSE, like.
Well, I heard today as well, actually, that one of the pub groups has basically issued a demand to the government saying that we want to see
restaurant, amalgamation of restaurants or whatever, a union or something like that, have basically said if they extend the lockdown in Dublin beyond the 10th, that they're going to be looking to do they can't do a class action in Ireland, you're not allowed, but they're going to be they're basically going to be suing the government anyway. I'm not sure what way they're going to do it. But here's the other one, the fucking Ryanair. So Ryanair, we're in court with the government, yeah. So a couple of weeks ago, I think what came out, the government were saying, so basically they're saying the restrictions the government are putting on travel is killing their business, and the government were basically, their argument was, well, we're not putting restrictions on travel, like. So anyway, the judgment came out today, and I think the judgment pretty much went against Ryanair, because basically Ryanair are allowed to fly anywhere they want. There's no restrictions on them. So they lost their court case based on that. Their argument was, yeah, but you're not allowing people to travel because you're telling them they have to quarantine when they come back, and they have to quarantine when they get there, and your green list changes this day to that day, you know what I mean? Depending on whatever fucking made up figures you need to hit this week to be green and amber and red or whatever. But the government's argument was, no, it's only guidelines.
Yeah.
There's no restrictions on you traveling, like the airline. You can travel to every country. You can fly wherever you want. We're not stopping people from traveling. We're putting guidelines on it.
Yeah.
So it just shows you, like, all that fucking
restrictions. The video I shared, the fella, the Vanguard knocks up, and she's like, some little cunty neighbour. Yeah, I see these neighbours that are reporting. Do you know what? I think these anti-Trumpers should be hoping you fucking die. I'm not saying me personally, but
I'm convinced it's all civil servants and government fucking workers that are delighted sitting at home. They're getting paid, and they don't want to go back out into the world because they're little fucking incel cunts.
No, they're just people that have just bought into the propaganda. That's all, and they're just terrified for their lives. So there is a little bit of, like, you have to feel some sort of sympathy for them, but at the same time, you're still a little fucking grassy. You're a horrible person. You're a bad person. Like.
If you literally only go to RTE for your news source at this stage in your life, if you're not able to bounce around between a few different sources and read different opinions,
you're old. You're not old enough, because I mean, I'd imagine they are old enough.
No, I'm not talking about old people. I'm talking about working age people, the civil servants, people who work in fucking government and stuff like that. Who all their jobs are secure, because the private sector at the moment is being decimated, but the public sector, all guaranteed jobs, all guaranteed their money, all getting pay rises, all getting whatever. They're all sitting there going, no, we shouldn't open up. Of course we should lock down. COVID, it's everywhere. The kids are spreading it in school. Make them all wear masks. Lunatics. But they're happy sitting at home.
No, but the point was that, like, that's if anyone hasn't seen it, basically what happens is, there's a guy having a few people over in his gaff.
Oh yeah, seen that.
And then the Vanguard walks up and she calls his name and he's like, yeah, that's my name. And she's like, and we got a report from a neighbour saying that you've got more than 6 people here. And he goes, yeah, well, this is my house, so that's my business. And she was like, well, you know, the guidelines are, he goes, I'm aware of the guidelines. And she's like, yeah, but why don't you say to let you know about the guidelines? He goes, yeah, but they're just guidelines, they're not the law. And she's like, yeah, well, I'm just here to inform you that the guidelines are only 6 people. He goes, okay, noted. Goodbye. And the guard literally turned around and walked off, because they are just guidelines, and if you continue to follow the guidelines, this will continue to happen.
Superintendent or something as well, or like an inspector. She was
maybe, yeah, but the point is that's even the guard admitting, well, yeah, we do not have any. Like, because if I drive, my man lives up in Monaghan, so if I decide on the weekend to go to Monaghan and I come to a checkpoint, and I say, yeah, it's a guideline, I understand it's a guideline, but it's not a law. I'm not breaking any law. Because I heard all this thing, they're going to start giving out fines, and they go, I'm not accepting any fine. I didn't break any law.
No, but they actually can't, under the legislation, under the statutory instrument that they brought in, they can't, there's no penal, there's no section in that section that allows them to give a penal out, you know what I mean? Like, there's certain sections that have penalties attached to it. The one for travelling outside of your county, if it's in lockdown, doesn't have any sort of penal attachment to it. There's no penalty. So
no, but what they do is they'll try to make you turn around, and when you refuse, they'll do it for obstruction.
Say you refuse the guard a directive. Yeah. So literally all you'd have to say in that scenario, you have to turn it out. Yeah, no problem, guard, and then continue driving. So you didn't refuse the guard a directive, you just continue driving though.
Yeah.
No, like, it's so stupid. Literally, to be honest, literally all you have to say is, where are you going in essential travel? But where are you going? None of your business. Okay.
Do you have an essential travel document?
No,
Yeah.
and
I see it.
it's not defined in the legislation. It's not defined that you have to prove. It's not defined anything like that. Literally, essential travel. Where are you going? None of your business.
And it's the same you go to a shop. You have to wear a mask. Oh no, I'm exempt. How? Doctor patient confidentiality. Are you my doctor? No, well then I don't need to discuss that with you. And I'm actually seeing a barrister. There's a barrister in law put a yoke up talking about how some of the shops have signs saying wear a mask. You need to wear a mask. Yeah, that's illegal.
That's anti-equality and all, isn't it?
It's illegal. They every single shop that has that sign.
I encourage everyone out there to go and check out Tracy O'Mahony. She's all of our videos. They're very, very informative. She breaks down the legislation and the statutory instruments for every one of these things that as they come out. Brilliant. And it just it puts you at ease, because it's like, we don't care now. I'm walking into a shop, it's like, you need your mask. Oh, are we still doing this COVID nonsense? Like, fuck off. Down my face.
No, we don't even bother with that, but just the point is that your man made is that every single shop that has that sign on the window is liable for legal action. Every single one of them.
It's people
if the wrong person to walk in. And
the thing is, show me one case that's gone to court where someone's breached a there's one I seen, and it was I think they were Eastern European, Polish or something, and they had too many people at the house, and they got fined €1,000 or something. But for me, all that says is, oh, you invited the Gardaí in, you let them give that to you. At no point you turned around and said, yeah, that's just a guideline. Fuck off, get off my property now. You invite, we believe there's people here. Oh, okay, we need to come in and check. Oh yeah, sure, open the door. Like, are you fucking mad? Like,
although in England, did you see the video of the English when they broke a man's door in? Like,
England are mad.
Yeah, they kicked a man's door in, and he didn't even have anybody. And then they were all going looking like ticks, and he's like, "Oh, you be my fucking door, like." And they go, "Yeah."
Trafalgar Square there, where they at the end of the bleeding the march there last week, they just unleashed the riot squad and went in and started battering everyone. And they took that German doctor out. Did you see him?
I seen the still of it in there.
No, you should listen to him. He was, pretty much spot on. He was talking about how the recession, how the bankers from the last recession, how what they've been doing since then, and it's all being implemented now to crash the economy again. But then he was talking about COVID and breaking it down, and just saying it was all nonsense. It was literally as soon as he started talking, they came in, arrested him, and took him off and battered everyone. So, for me, if they arrest someone like that, because David Icke was on before that, and they didn't seem too bothered by anything he was saying. So,
but you know what's funny as well? So you have the anti-fascists, the NPHET, the Irish NPHET, showing up to this protest because they're anti-fascist, while watching the Garda come in and attack.
Oh no, encouraging the Garda to come in and do it.
And shut down peaceful protest and manhandle and, as in stop freedom of speech. So the police are acting fascistically, and Antifa are standing there cheering them on. But I thought you're supposed to be you should be against the police doing this. But again, it's this whole selective outrage, selective. We're anti-fascist unless when it works for us, and then it's okay. But when it goes against us, oh my god, this is these.
It's like when you see when cancel culture gets the cancellers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's brilliant. I love
it's it's poetic justice. It is nearly in a lot of cases, isn't it?
Yeah.
To maybe segue out something different. I was reading there the other day. There was a court case in Ireland against Subway. So basically, a franchise for Subway in Ireland, were suing. I think they were suing Subway because they wanted in Ireland, if your food is a certain product like bread, milk, whatever, it's exempt from certain taxes. But if it's sugar or fucking
10% fucking sugar or something, so it's not technically bread or something.
Pretty much, the judge basically came back and said the bread wasn't bread because it was more than 2% fucking. I think it was nearly 10% of it was sugar. I thought that was quite interesting. Apparently, it's been an ongoing thing.
Have you seen as well they came out with the fucking the dietary guidelines for children, and they can have 3 crisps a week.
Was that not satire?
No,
I
don't think
could have
so.
sworn that was satire when I was reading.
No, because I heard about it on the radio as well.
One bit of chocolate or something and 3 crisps.
Yeah, one piece of chocolate, and you can have like 2 jellies or something like that, and 3 slices of crisp in a week. But it's not satire. I'm pretty sure it's not satire. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think it's because you were talking about it on the radio also. I seen it online and I heard them talk about it on the radio as well.
Right.
You were, in fairness, on the radio, they were kind of slagging them as well, kind of saying, there's a couple of parents because you can just give them 3 as in the rest of
tone of it kind of sounded like satire, and it was like, you got me with Putin, you fucks. You're not getting me with this one.
No, I genuinely think it's
it
legit.
Wouldn't surprise me. And you know what? They're probably not wrong. It's nonsense, but at the same time, kids shouldn't be eating that shit. Adults shouldn't be eating that shit. Like, it came out that the Coca-Cola paid off experts, doctors, medical professionals, scientists and all, to basically say that the 2011 to 2012-13 obesity crisis wasn't caused by sugar. So, I mean, these guys, these experts, don't have a precedence for being paid off for their opinions, do they? You know what I mean? When I read that, I go, oh, so the sugar industry paid you off to downplay the obesity crisis, which is killing. Like, if anyone's suffering from COVID now, it's people who have obesity. They're people that, like, the comorbidity that people, if you have obesity and you catch COVID and you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, you're susceptible to dying.
I'm saying the COVID could have a good spin on it because if they wear a mask, they can't eat.
There you go, you know what I mean? Follow the guidelines, be all right. But like, so you have probably the same or similar medical experts who are paid off by Coca-Cola and all these companies. Fucking disclaimer there, I'm not attacking Coca-Cola, but the sugar industry, basically paid them off to say, no, the obesity crisis that was all over the world from 2011 and onwards wasn't their fault. So now, like, these not same medical expert, and it's you're looking at the likes of Luke O'Neill and all these people, and they're sitting on vaccine boards for European fucking committees. The pharmaceutical companies are making millions and they're selling them off and all. And these are the talking mouthpieces for lockdowns until we get vaccines. And now they're even saying when we get the vaccine, life still won't go back to that. Like, these are nuts. These people are control freaks. And I'd probably encourage, without sending people off to watch it, but I haven't watched it yet. I read the book, Aldous Huxley, Brave New World, but I think it's out this weekend. But it's basically set in a futuristic medical technocracy where, like, people are genetically modified and created into certain roles in society, and the family unit has been destroyed and religion doesn't exist and everybody worships the state. And you're looking at what's going on in the world. Oh, right. Is there a reason why they're bringing out this fucking Brave New World at the moment? Because that's where we're headed, a medical fucking tyranny. Like, you have these people in NPHET, like, it's not even the government causing lockdowns and restrictions. It's on the say-so of NPHET. Who the fuck are these people?
Yeah.
Did we elect them? Like, we barely elected the last government, but at least they got enough votes. They managed to form a government out of people who picked them, supposedly. Who are these people in NPHET did fucking lockdowns, all based on their say? You look at what's going on in Australia, it's all based on medical experts. Fauci, every time he opens his mouth, he never gives you a fact. He talks about all these studies that supposedly exist that back up all his claims, but he's never shown any of them. And fucking everything he say, he flip-flops on everything.
Yeah.
As soon as he flip-flops,
he
changes.
It wasn't Ted Cruz. It was the other.
Was it not Ted Cruz?
No, I don't think it was Ted Cruz. It was the other guy. He's actually pretty good. Can't think of his name. I'm so bad with names. And he was basically saying to him about the BLM protests. Would he kind of come out and say that the BLM protests are spreading COVID? And he was like, well, any mass group gatherings. He says, no, and he goes, well, I'm not going to make a decision either way. He says, what do you mean make a decision either way? He said, you've banned churches, you've banned businesses, the gym owners have been locked up. He says, whereas had they been outside peacefully protesting at the gym, they were fine. But once they walk in and start walking out, they're now in breach of your rules because there's a group of people in. So he's like, so are you willing to do? And they're not willing to. And again, it goes to show the hypocrisy of the whole people that are going like, oh my God, Trump wouldn't say anything about that. He wouldn't condemn white supremacy. Well, hold on a second. It says the Dems refused not only to condemn the riots and the looting and the fucking Antifa violence, they're trying to act as if Antifa isn't even a thing. And everyone else is cool with that because it's just not Trump. And that's why I can't take any of them seriously, because it's selective outrage and it's so fucking frustrating. But we're going to talk about food real quickly. Oh yeah, I just thought this was funny as well. So I listened to it. Apparently, vegans are going mad because when with the McDonald's, you know, they're going off a selected menu, the choice of all the vegan stuff is reduced to basically fucking, I think mozzarella sticks is all you can have, and some of them can't even have that because it's cheese or dairy. But and they're complaining, the vegans are complaining, oh, when we go to McDonald's, what are we supposed to eat? And I'm like, oh, why are you going to McDonald's? You're a vegan, you're against animal cruelty, they're serving dead cow, according to you. Why are you even going there? You're not vegan, you just don't eat fucking meat, like, that's all it is, like. But it's just so bizarre. It's just like, or there's a hell of a the apple cream, like the vegan sausage roll. It's not sausage roll because it's not sausage. Oh, well, you know, it's a vegan spin on a sausage roll. Okay, fair enough, but it's not a sausage because it's not a sausage. It's not. It's literally, a sausage roll is a sausage like with pastry roll around it. That's not.
No, I know you can't do, like I've seen people do up like bolognese and stuff where they're not like using different plant extracts and all. Looks quite nice. Never tasted it, but don't try and sell me a sausage roll that's not a fucking sausage. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just call it something else.
Just rename it. It's that fucking simple. Like the whole vegan thing is just when they're like, just eat. I'm kind of torn on it a little bit because I do be kind of saying to myself as well, right? The meat industry, the way it is not right. This whole industrialized fucking slaughtering of fucking animals, it's not right. But they're born for that.
I know.
Without that, he would have never existed in the fourth place.
I'm not even getting into the moral argument of it, but the type of food that you're getting is fucking dirt. It's dirt. Yeah. You know what I mean? So So from that angle, I'd be coming from it like, you're not really eating proper food. You may as well be eating Monsanto fucking genetically modified beef or something. It probably is that, or it's probably as close to that as you get. In
fairness, Ireland isn't too bad for it though. It's mostly America because their food standards are so fucking poor. Like,
I go around myself. I go around with my sister. She does a lot of growing her own stuff, tomatoes and everything like that. Shout out to Nicole. And like she'll send you around stuff. And like she gave me a spinach plant and I was eating the spinach. It's so much nicer. I had one of the apples off our apple tree. It tastes like an apple should taste. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's weird. Like when.
Do you know what blew my mind as well? Bananas. The taste is artificial on a banana.
It tastes very fabricy or something.
Yeah, no, but it is actually. That's not how bananas taste. They inject taste into bananas somehow. I don't know what way it works. I'm just saying that it kind of fascinated me.
Speaking of weird things, did you actually know one of these things for an avalanche, right? You know, in the movies where somebody will shout or there'll be a loud bang or something, and an avalanche will happen, right?
Yeah.
Would you assume that that's something that would happen?
Yeah, because the echo and the sound waves, blah, blah, blah.
Apparently not. It's to do with air pressure or something like that. So the air pressure fucking drops and all, it displaces the... So you could shout at a mountain, a snowy mountain, all you like.
You're a prick!
Ain't gonna do shit. I read it, I was so disappointed. It's like every fucking brilliant action movie that they're fucking running away from an avalanche. All false. Never happened.
Movies are lying to us. Next you'll be telling me that everything on Facebook isn't real terror.
I just went down one of them holes where it was like, you know, like Mythbusters or whatever, you know what I mean? It was like,
I love them. On YouTube, I'm just going to go on these 50 amazing facts.
Yeah.
No fucking way, you remember that? And then you don't remember.
There's another one, right? We're probably going to get him on as a guest, Kevin Flanagan. He runs a page, the Breton Academy or something like that. But I think it might not be his page now, but there's another one like Ancient Ireland or something. It might be attached to it. I'm not sure. But I was reading this story, and it was about two old clans that were at war for hundreds of years, right, fighting with each other. And in the end, they were fucking warring back and forth. In the end, they had one clan had the other clan surrounded, overwhelmed, and basically beaten. And they offered them a truce. And the guys who were under siege or whatever were like, no, we don't trust you. You're just going to slaughter us when we come out. So what happened was the leader of the guys who had them under siege walked up to the fucking door, and he offered them his right hand by putting it through a hole.
I heard that story before. He chopped his hand off.
No, they didn't chop his hand off. They accepted his right hand. But the saying, I give me right arm, comes from that. So, I give me right arm for the fucking whatever. He put his right arm in and offered truce through the doorway where they could have done whatever they wanted. They could have chopped his arm off or whatever. He was the leader or the king of that.
I heard a different story that has something similar to that, and he actually chopped his hand off. Obviously, it's a completely different
but
story.
This is an ancient, an Irish documented fucking story, you know what I mean? But it came off this page. That's probably a fucking shout out to Kevin anyway. I think we're going to get him on soon, but he started up the Tiernasaw and fucking the Breton Law Academy and all this. So I think you get some interesting fucking stories out of him. But yeah, I went on this little fucking, fucking pathway on the internet of just weird shit where it was like, no way, you're just like, what would you say? I was this years old when I figured out whatever fucking you shit. Yeah, I was today years old. Yeah, so I had a few of them.
The same thing as well, the pot the piss in as well.
Yeah, I remember reading that one actually. Yeah.
Back in the day, that there were people. There was some people that was like, you basically used to piss in the pot because we didn't have lavatories and fucking this sewage system and all.
And you were so broke, you didn't even.
They used to piss in the pot. But some people were so poor they couldn't afford a pot to piss in.
Yeah,
and that's where that kind
and wasn't that don't throw the baby with the bathwater? That's where that came from.
That's something to do with the McCanns, I think.
That was something to do with because whatever to do with the hot water or something. So everyone, all the kids, fucking bathing in it. So
we did that when I was a kid. We used to like share a bath.
Yeah, I know, but it was like fucking you be out and the next kid in. Also, it was don't throw. I don't know. I don't actually remember what the fucking.
Yeah, I remember the idea of it. You know what's actually good for that as well? The one Susie Dent, I think her name is, on Countdown. She does have a little corner, and she'd actually explain where the origins of sayings and phrases and words come from. Like, I always find it mad interesting. Never remember any of it.
No. I remember actually reading a book about it. Someone had put together where phrases come from, or where words or sayings came from. I remember reading them all and being like fascinated, like knew every one of them, but like never the sayings that you nearly say all the time, but you never consider like where did that actually come? Why the fuck do you say that? Like, why would you give your right arm? You know what I mean? And not knowing the origin of the phrasing. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Well, I think I don't know. We should end it before we delve into more bollocks.
Anyway, a couple of guests lined up for you. I mentioned Kevin Flanagan there, but we've a couple of other guests in the works as well. So we'll have them coming in over the next couple of weeks. And as usual, nice one to everyone for tuning in. Pleasure. We'll probably get more questions and all that for the next one with me and you, Red.
Because I know people were mental, so I haven't really been online much.
Congratulations on the new job.
Yeah, I got a new job. Yeah, buddy. Back to normal hours again. No more 12-hour shifts every single day. Getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and walking around like a zombie. So yeah, back to a normal 9 to 6 Monday to Friday, half 9 to 6 Monday to Friday.
More coherent Red on these.
Yeah, I'll be back on form. Even my jokes have been shit lately. You know what I mean? Although I was on form today when I obliterated that man's fan on Facebook today. I had some absolute fucking crackers there, like, because I was just on form. I was in a good year because it was my last day in work. So I was cruising out in the truck today and taking a little time. So going to butcher that one because I was in a happy humour, and he just got absolutely. I actually got a few messages of people saying he's dead, leave him alone, like, and I go, never, not on form, like, yeah. God love him though, fucking.
Yeah, you love them. Yeah. See, what's even better now is that you have the platform there to come on and further the insult for them. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Not bad enough that you just chew them up on Facebook, then you go and talk about it later on your
Yeah,
podcast.
you go, random dude. I
Wound.
won an argument on Facebook.
Yeah. I'm winning in life, guys. I'm winning.
Well, listen, when you're working the hours I am, you have to take the little victories. You know what I
Keeps you
mean?
going. It's what gets you up in the morning, Red.
Yeah, being this little fucking.
That
What the hell did
Facebook
he
comment.
looks like he's reenacting a Viking war in the park. That was quite good. I like that one. It's came to me. That's what I said to you, man. He looks like he's reenacting a Viking war in a park. That was a good one.
I'm doing something like that. I'm reenacting this look like good crack.
Bollocks.
I
would stay at home and have a wank, to be honest with you. To be perfectly honest with you.
So what's your
reckon? Thanks for tuning in again, folks. We can get in on that.
Before we jump out there, what do you reckon? Maybe trying to go live or something for the Liverpool Villa match at the weekend?
If you followed Villa, you wouldn't be offering that. There's a bit of underhand.
It happens twice a year. It's a good excuse to try out the live. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, it's good for you. I mean, if you were a Villa fan, you wouldn't be offering that because you know it's not going to end well for you. But yeah, no, we'll do it because we're both going to be watching it anyway. So yeah, let's just fucking stick it on. And do you ever see a grown ginger bollocks cry? He was about to. Yeah, no, we did. We go live.
Villa at the moment.
No, look, being a lifelong Villa fan, I can tell you that you cannot get your hopes past. I mean, we were playing Fulham the other day, and we're 2-0 up at half time. And I was sitting there going, if we can get another goal early, we might win this game. Like, you know what I mean?
Barkley's a decent signing for you.
Yeah, no, I'd say we bought really well this year.
Yeah, Barkley, like at Chelsea, he's still good enough to play at that level, but he can't get the consistency. There's too many players in there that like
the pounce.
Yeah, but like he's an attacking midfielder, and they have like fucking now they have Mount, Werner, Havertz, Hudson-Odoi. Like you're just not getting the game in there, and he's not getting because they're going to play 4 attacking players. You're not getting into that midfield. You know, it's going to be Kovacic.
No, as I was delighted when I seen that we signed him, and apparently we're looking for Loftus-Cheek as well. I don't know. Yeah, apparently we have stuck in now a little. What you reckon? So if we get him,
I could see him going.
He's doing well, signings wise. Like last season, we bought a lot, but it was a lot of shit. This season, I mean, like Ollie Watkins, I know like he hasn't scored in the Premiership yet, but he scored in the cups and he will get his goal. I think once he gets his first goal, he'll get some goals. I'm happy with that signing. Bertrand Traore, he'll be a good attacking player to complement fucking Jack Grealish. Then you get Ross Barkley in there as well. So and Matty Cash as well in the fullback. So I think we've bought well.
You can have a Origi.
You are?
You can have a Origi.
We were linked to him and I take him.
You can have him.
I take Origi in a heartbeat as well, like. But I think is he not going somewhere else though?
I don't know. I didn't hear him.
Yeah, no. I think
Brewster went to Sheffield United today, but I think he definitely played. Well, he didn't start Origi, and I think the fact he didn't start Origi, if Origi's not playing in like the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, you're not playing anywhere else. Like
no, I'll take Shaqiri.
Shaq was missing again.
Yeah, apparently, and then I was seeing the interview. No, I missed the interview because I actually went there and have a shy, if I'm being honest. And I came back out, and the girls thought, I think he'd done the interview, and they're saying he seems very not talking about the future-ish with Liverpool, and is it a telltale sign? So if he's up for grabs, I'd even on loan, if just see.
Fucking if Shaqiri's fit, he's not far off being in that team. He's always fucking injured, like.
Yeah, he's a good player, like. But
I think he played Harry Wilson now to try and throw him in the shop window and see he can be offload him.
Because we tried to get him already, didn't we?
He's a sweet, like, unbelievable. But he's a
spirit for another Torres. That?
He's just not getting into that team. That's the problem. But he's a fucking fantastic player.
But I take him on loan as well. We wouldn't have to buy him. Just give him on loan and we'll give him a few games.
See, I think they want the money for him at this stage because he's probably only got 2 years left in his deal. So
fucking buy him then. Yeah, like I thought, like if he's wearing sure because he's still young and has the potential to.
He's 23 now. He needs to be playing like for himself as well.
He looks like about 11.
Yeah.
But he is a spirit for Fernando Torres. I take there's a lot of Liverpool players that I'd like to go in and just kind of pick and just kind of say, look at we'll give them game time for you, and then you can have them back, sort of thing. They'll just
So I
get
thought
us.
that's what they would have done with Brewster again. Let him go out with a Premiership team, but they got big money off Sheffield for him, and I think they have a 3-year buyback clause in him. So if he does well for a couple of years, they can buy him back. But definitely Origi, I'd just fucking get him out there now. He's dirt. But yeah, now so maybe we go live on Sunday for a bit of crack.
Is there? Watch. Yeah.
Let's see what way to do it. I think you might be able to do it straight onto YouTube or something. We'll do a bit of looking at it, see what way we sort it out.
Work.
Let folks know if they want to tune in. All right. Well, there we go. Episode 13. Unlucky number 13. We made it. And we'll see you soon for something else.
Yeah, more mass talk.
Yeah.
Right, thanks, folks.